Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Brethren, last Sunday, we prayed here for super stamina. You remember? And the Lord filled us with extraordinary stamina. Right from heaven, such level of power is always given for great purposes. Power is not released ordinarily. And today we hadn't much time last Sunday to operate with that stamina. So today we are going to use the stamina for the purpose for which it was released. We are going to fight for our inheritance. We are fighting for what? Our divine inheritance. And that's what we are talking about here today. The war for your divine inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance is the possession from past generations. That's the much we know. But do you know that many Christians don't know that they even have inheritance from God? Many believers don't know that we have inheritance from the Father. That we have inheritance that we should be enjoying. Do you know that many people on earth don't know that there are some things that are due to them from God? And only very few that have spiritual knowledge, they are the only one that possibly they seize other people's inheritance. They sit on other people's inheritance. Sometimes they even drive people away from their inheritance. I was telling you the other time here how Christians, right from the very beginning, have perfected the strategy of being on the defensive only. Always running away. Always running from the enemies. Running from the enemies. And the enemies are enjoying it. Because by so doing, they drive believers away from their inheritance. And they sit on the inheritance. They occupy them. They dominate them. They enjoy them. And they don't want anything to change. Look at the scriptures with me. Joshua chapter 14. I say we are going to fight for our divine inheritance today. Joshua 14, look at verse 7. Caleb was telling Joshua, he said, 40 years old was I when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land. And I brought him good word again as it was in my heart. Verse 9. And Moses swore on that day, saying, surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thy inheritance. Brethren, do you see that? Moses was the prophet of God. Moses was the man of God. And Caleb just did something that was good. Caleb just stood on the side of the Lord. And the man of God pronounced that thing upon him. Brethren, how many great things have men of God pronounced upon us? Those pronouncements become our inheritance. Do you see what he told Caleb here? He said, as you are going into the promised land, everywhere your feet shall step becomes your own. It's your inheritance. And remember, brethren, that generally, the children of Israel were going to possess the land based on old covenants that Jehovah God made with Abraham, repeated it with Isaac, and confirmed it with Jacob, based on old promises that God made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, promises that have been over 400 years old. So these are the sources of divine inheritance. This is how believers get divine inheritance. Now let's continue. He said, Moses on that day saying, surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thy inheritance, and thy children forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. Verse 10. And now behold, the Lord has kept me alive. And as he said, these 40 and 5 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. You know, time does not cancel divine inheritance. Nothing like, well, it has lasted for 40 years now. Why should you be talking about it now? No, enough. Even when it lasts for 400 years, it doesn't still cancel it. So verse 11, as yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war. That's why I told you it's war. If you are going to collect divine inheritance, it is what? War. And Caleb understood the principle. He said, I know it's not going to come cheaply. I know I'm not just going to step in and say, well, Moses, the servant of God, swear to me, give me the land. No. He said, I know it's going to cost war. He said, for war, both to go out and come in verse 12. Now, therefore, give me this mountain, whereof the Lord spake in that day. For thou heardest in that day how the Anakims were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If so be the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said. And Joshua blessed him, and gave unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron for an inheritance. So Hebron became his divine inheritance. Became his divine inheritance for him and his children forever, based on the promises of the word of God. Became his divine inheritance. And look at verse 14. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, unto this day, because that he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. Verse 15. And take note of this verse 15. Very, very important. Extremely important. And the name of Hebron before. What does it mean by before? Before Israel came from Egypt. You know, that I told you that is the place of Abraham. That's their real foundation. Abraham bought land there. And that was where they buried Sarah. And all of them. So that place is their real place. But do you know that should be their family inheritance? That should be their family inheritance. But while they were away for 470 years, somebody has taken the inheritance. He said before, the name was Hebron. But look at what happened now to it. Before was Kirjat Abba. They've changed the name. Why will you come into somebody's inheritance and change the name? It's so that the real owner of the inheritance will not have access to it anymore. The real owner cannot struggle for it anymore. And brother, do you know this? What is affecting so many Christians? The enemies have changed the names of their inheritance. The enemies have altered their inheritances. And they cannot even recognize it anymore. No talk of claiming it. So this man came and changed it to Kirjat Abba. Which, take note of it, which Abba was what? A great man, a strong man. So a great man came, collected their inheritance, and changed the name. And it was not just of that, it was of the Anakims, the giants. The giants. Took the land and changed the name. Brethren, if there was nobody like Caleb, who defied his age and fought that battle, he collected that land, that inheritance, and returned the name back again to Hebron. That's why they still call it Hebron till today. If Caleb did not fight, if Caleb did not battle them and collect that inheritance back, that would have been Kirjat Abba till tomorrow. So I'm just preparing your mind so that you know how you are going to fight. That all your inheritance, that some of them, do you know Israel might not even know when they got there that that's their place anymore. Israel might not even recognize the place that their foundation anymore, because the name has changed. The name has changed. The enemies have changed the name. Giants are now occupying the place. Israel had the inclination, the possibility to avoid fighting against the giants, to just occupy other lands and leave that one for them because of the nature of the enemies. So this is, if you look at the case of Caleb, it's like inheritance inside the inheritance. Israel was to inherit the whole land. But inside that general inheritance, he has own personal inheritance inside it again. Look at 1 Kings chapter 21. 1 Kings 21, look at verse 1. Because one thing with us is that we leave our inheritance. We abandon our inheritance. We don't want to touch our inheritance. We think that, well, God will create a brand new inheritance for me. 1 Kings 21, look at verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard. All he had was just a garden, vineyard, which was in Jezreel, had by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria, just near the palace, the king's palace. Verse 2. And Ahab, being the king, spake unto Naboth, saying, give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it's near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. So it was an offer. He said, this one is close to my house, give this one for me, and then I will give you anything you want anywhere. Or if it seems good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money, or I can buy it off you. Let me give you any amount you want to sell it. Verse 3. And Naboth said unto Ahab, look at the response. What did he tell Ahab? He said, God forbid that I should give what? Inheritance. Say, God forbid that I should sell. You know, there are two offers there. There are two offers. One is exchange your inheritance. Let me give you another one. Give me the original one. I will give you the fake one. The second one is, let me buy it. Let me buy your inheritance. And look at what Naboth said. He said, God forbid that I should give away or do anything with my inheritance of my fathers unto thee. Verse 4. And look at the impact of that response. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would not eat bread. Can you imagine behaving like a child? Because somebody said, I will not give you my inheritance. You got home heavily, you lie down, face the wall, refuse to eat food. Verse 5. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and he said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will take care of it. He said, I will give you the vineyard of Naboth, if that's what you want. Brethren, these are the powers you have to fight to. Powers like Jezebel, powers like Jet Abba, powers like those Anakims that have even taken the vineyard already, taken over the inheritance, and they are sitting on it. He said, don't worry yourself, go and eat food. Is it vineyard you are behaving like this for? I will give it to you. Verse 8, so she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders, to the noble that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she said, wrote in the letter, saying, proclaim a fast, set Naboth on high among the people. If this is where ignorance comes in, brethren, which is one thing we are going to pray for here today. Because the enemies we are dealing with, they are too crafty. They are too clever. If Naboth had been mindful of himself, should he attend such things? Should he go out to such events? Is it by force? So they say they proclaim fast, and they give him chairman, they raise him up here. And verse 8, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out and stone him, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders of the noble, who were the inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letter which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city. They stoned him with stone, that he died. Do you know how many people they have killed for their inheritance? Do you know, brethren? How many people, human beings, have destroyed their lives? They have cut them short. Even they killed them before their time. Just because of their inheritance. Because of their inheritance. Verse 14, then they sent unto Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, arise up, go and take possession, and collect the vineyard of Naboth, which he refused to give you for money. For Naboth is not alive but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was there, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth in Jerusalem to take possession of it. Brethren, we have battle. Power that want to kill you because of your divine inheritance. Power that want to kill you because of what God has deposited for you. And do you know, many believers don't even know what their inheritance is. What their inheritance in the Lord is particularly. Many don't even know that they have inheritance in the Lord. Colossians chapter 3. Look at verse 23. Some of us, the whole trouble in life that we have faced since we were born is because of divine inheritance. Some people were able to see into our lives and they saw the inheritance. And that's where all our trouble started from. Colossians chapter 3, look at verse 23. And whatsoever you do, are you not doing some things? Are you not serving the Lord? Are you not working for God? Whatsoever you do it what? With all your heart. Do it with all your heart. Is that not how we are now? Serving God with all our hearts? As to the Lord and not unto men, verse 24. Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of what? There is an inheritance in the Lord. He said God has inheritance, a reward of inheritance for those who are serving him with all their hearts. Those who are serving Jesus with all their heart, there is a reward of inheritance for us. And you need to find out what those inheritance are for you. What exactly is the inheritance we have in the Lord? I will not be able to go scriptures because I want us to pray tonight. Number one thing is God's covenant blessings. Covenant promises. Anytime God makes covenant with you, it becomes your inheritance. All the promises contained in that covenant becomes your inheritance. And the inheritance of your children forever. How did Israel come to the point of claiming the whole land of Canaan? Was it not by covenant? Was it not by the promise of God? That's how it became their inheritance. And I thank God because in this church, we have made a lot of covenants with God. And we do a lot of covenants. Covenants of different types. With different themes and different topics. All those covenant promises, brethren, they are your inheritance in the Lord. So if you make the covenant of life, that's your covenant inheritance. That you have abundant life. If you make the covenant of finance and prosperity and money, that becomes your covenant inheritance in the Lord. That you will get wealth and riches. If you make the covenant of easy life, that becomes your covenant promises and inheritance from the Lord. Another source of your covenant inheritance or your divine inheritance is the express promises of God. Express promises of God. Some of us, in our dreams, God has appeared to us and told us some things concerning our lives. That becomes your inheritance. That's how he did to Abraham. It was in the dream. He came out and said, come, look at the land. So here is your own. I give it to you. It's in the dream. And that place became his inheritance. Some of the Lord has appeared to us in visions. Some of us, even mouth to mouth. Even audibly, he has spoken to us. And that becomes our divine inheritance. They become the promises of God for us. And they become our expectations. Those expectations, brethren, they are our divine inheritance. And they are worth fighting for. Why? Because the same enemies, the same Anakims, and their king Abba, that sat upon the one of Israel, they are still alive, they are still everywhere. There are foundational powers, foundational enemies that want to collect the inheritance from us. Do you know for 400 years, Abba and the Anakims and their children, they enjoyed the inheritance that did not belong to them. And the real owners of the inheritance were in Egypt suffering. They were in Egypt laboring and toiling in bondage. Do you know, brethren, that for so many years, all the covenant of God was lying dormant. The covenant promises were lying unfulfilled, while the enemies were enjoying the inheritance. The inheritance attached to those covenants. So whatsoever the Lord has promised you, whatsoever the Lord has spoken concerning you, that becomes your divine inheritance. And the Lord has spoken great things concerning us in this church. The Lord has spoken great, great things. Either as a church, as a body, collectively, and individually. The Lord has spoken great things. Those are our inheritance in the Lord. Joshua chapter 1. Joshua chapter 1. Look at verse 6. Look at verse 6. Be strong. Why is he telling him to be strong? Because if you are going to fight for your inheritance, brother, you have to be strong. That's why we started this whole prayer by praying for what? Extra stamina. Super stamina. That's where we started it from. So that you will be fighting with a new level of strength. Did you hear what Caleb said? He said his strength has not abated. Even at the age of 85. That he can still go to war and battle as when he was 40. That is super stamina. And that was why he was able to take on the enemy sitting on his inheritance. So he said, be strong and of good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for what? An inheritance. He said, you have reached the place of the inheritance now. I have brought you to the place of the inheritance now. You have now to fight for it and divide it. You have to fight for it and divide it. The land which I did what? Which I swear unto their fathers to give them. That's why it is divine inheritance. That's why it's divine inheritance. The Lord swore and gave it to them. But they have to be courageous. They have to be strong. They have to fight for it. They have to fight. They have to fight for it. And do you know that if you fight for it now, do you know Caleb? He fought for his own. And the Bible says that Hebron became his own and his children forever. His children, that place, you can't delete the name of Caleb from that place anymore. So anytime you go to Hebron, you are surely going to meet the children of Caleb. Because it was the inheritance that their father fought for. Do you know the battle you are going to fight here tonight? You are going to get your divine inheritance. Your children will enjoy the inheritance. Your children will enjoy the inheritance. And they are going to begin to refer it as the inheritance of their father. Look at what the Bible says. Proverbs 13. Proverbs 13. Look at verse 22. Are you there with me? He said, a good man. Are you a good man? He said, a good woman. Are you a good woman? He said, a good man does what? He leaveth an inheritance. To who? To children. And his children's children. And then the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. A good man leaveth inheritance. Do you know that wicked men and wicked women, like some of our parents, what did they leave for us? Oh, the kind of battle we have been fighting for years. But he said, good man, a good woman will leave inheritance for even the children's children. We know how to go and collect the wealth of the sinners and lay them up for his children. That was what Caleb did. Caleb came upon the people of Kirjath Arba. He slaughtered all of them. He took all their wealth and stored them up for his children forever. Proverbs 19. Look at verse 14. He said, house and riches are what? They are the inheritance of fathers. They are the inheritance of fathers. House, riches, wealth, prosperity. And a prudent wife is from who? Do you know that one also is divine inheritance? For our brethren that are praying for husband, praying for wife, do you know you are going to pray for that also today? That Lord, give me a divine inheritance in marriage. The Bible says it's from the Lord. It's from the Lord. And the Lord will give you your inheritance today. Let's close our eyes. We are going to pray different kinds of prayer. We are going to pray different kinds of prayer. For those who were not there last Sunday, we will still touch that stamina prayer briefly. But we are going to also pray for our spiritual connections, our spiritual eyes, our spiritual ears, our dream lives, and so on. We are going to pray for all those ones. Because the enemy have started to attack those ones too. They've started to attack those ones too. So we will clear that one first. And then we will go now to fight for our inheritance. We are going to cry like this. My God and my Father. Anything that I did, anything that my parents did, anything that my ancestors did, that sold my inheritance unto Satan, that gave our inheritance unto darkness, Father, I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Lord. I am deeply sorry, my Father.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.